What happens when opulence meets privacy? Well, then we'll have the Wallenberg family. I'm almost certain you haven't heard of this family. They work really hard to remain private. You wouldn't believe that the Wallenbergs have been in existence for more than a century. They wield immense power and wealth and control almost everything from major corporations to government policies and the economy of modern-day Europe. In this video, we will uncover the story of the wealth and influence of this family, from their founding fathers to their efforts during World War II, their huge wealth ownings, and the current state of the family business in this day and age. How did they amass such wealth? What are they doing with such huge, immense influence? How have they been able to maintain their wealth for more than 100 years and several generations? You have the questions, we have the answers. Let's dive in. The story of the Wallenberg family begins with a man named André Oskar Wallenberg, a Swedish banker who established the Stockholm and Skilda Bank in 1856. It didn't take long for the bank to ascend to become one of Europe's most influential financial institutions. In 1886, Knut Agathon Wallenberg, the son of André Oskar Wallenberg, assumed the role of CEO at Stockholm's Enskilda Bank. Like several other members of the Wallenberg family, Knut Agathon Wallenberg also had an active presence in Swedish politics and diplomacy. He served as the Minister of Foreign Affairs from 1914 to 1917 and was a member of Riksdagens first chamber in the Parliament of Sweden from 1907 to 1919. In 1916, legislative changes were enacted, making it more challenging for banks to maintain long-term ownership of shares in industrial companies. It was in response to these changes that Investor was established as an investment arm of Stockholm's Enskilda Bank. Knut Agathon Wallenberg's younger brother, Marcus Wallenberg Sr., carried forth his family tradition and assumed the position of CEO at the bank in 1911. This appointment came as Knut Agathon Wallenberg transitioned to the role of chairman of the board at Stockholm's Enskilda Bank. Soon, the Wallenbergs began diversifying their interests, venturing beyond banking and investing in numerous industries, ranging from steel to paper to mining. The Wallenbergs swiftly evolved into a predominant force in the business world, renowned for their astute investments and sharp business acumen. Their empire continued to expand throughout the early 20th century. As the decades passed, the Wallenbergs continued their expansion into various business sectors, acquiring companies across Europe and around the world. Their empire grew to encompass everything from automobiles to pharmaceuticals, making them one of the most influential families in the global business arena. But what is more interesting about this family is that despite their vast wealth and influence, the Wallenbergs remained notoriously private. They have kept a low-key profile over the decades and avoid any display of wealth. They seldom granted interviews and avoided the spotlight, preferring to shield their personal lives from public scrutiny. However, this mystery only heightened their enigmatic status, making them one of the most enigmatic families in the world. Despite this family holding large influence in the majority of major Swedish industrial conglomerates, including Ericsson, Electrolux, ABB, SAS Group, SKF, AIK, Atlas Copco, and many others, you wouldn't find them cruising on a yacht and posting on Instagram or showing off their expensive car collections. During the 1970s, businesses affiliated with the Wallenberg family accounted for a significant portion of Sweden's industrial labor force, employing 40% of the entire population of Sweden. Let's break this down a little. This means that if Sweden had a population of 1 million employed persons, as at 1970, about 400,000 of that population were earning their salary from the Wallenberg family business. Mind-blowing, right? But it doesn't end there. Companies owned by the Wallenbergs also represented a substantial 40% of the total market capitalization of the Stockholm Stock Exchange. Can you imagine just a single family controlling 40% of the entire finance and economy of a nation? However, it wasn't solely their business prowess that set the Wallenbergs apart. They were also renowned for their philanthropic endeavors, generously donating substantial sums of money to various causes. Their dedication to social responsibility solidified their reputation as one of the most esteemed families in Sweden. The Wallenberg family also has a strong connection with Sweden's main political party, the Social Democrats, which makes them essential in Sweden's politics and economy. They stand out from other wealthy business people in Sweden because they have a unique way of running their businesses. Instead of owning companies directly, they use charitable foundations to control big businesses. The money these companies make goes back into doing good things, like charity work. This used to be a common way of doing business in Sweden, but most people now prefer to own companies directly. What's unusual is that the Wallenbergs have been using this approach for 5 generations, which is not common. They say the reason it's worked for so long is that no one person can take all the money from the foundations. Even though the Wallenbergs control a lot of money through their foundations, they themselves are not extremely rich. They're estimated to have a total net worth of around 1 billion, which is not enough to make them among the richest people in Sweden. During World War II, the Wallenbergs played a pivotal and heroic role in saving the lives of thousands of Jewish individuals. Raoul Wallenberg, a member of the family, served as a diplomat in Budapest, Hungary. In his diplomatic capacity, he issued protective passports to Jewish refugees, aiding them in escaping Nazi persecution. Raoul Wallenberg was a man of remarkable courage and unwavering conviction who risked his own life to assist others. He was dispatched to Budapest in 1944 during the height of the Nazi occupation, with the mission of safeguarding Jews from the horrors of the Holocaust. By July 1944, Hungary and Germany had transported almost 440,000 Jewish individuals from Hungary. Almost all of them were taken to Auschwitz, Birkenau, where approximately 320,000 were killed by the SS immediately upon arrival. The remaining individuals were used as forced labor in Auschwitz and other camps. In Budapest, there were nearly 200,000 Jews left, and the Hungarian authorities planned to deport them as well, following the demands made by the Germans. Leveraging his family's wealth and connections, Wallenberg began issuing protective passports to Jewish refugees, granting them immunity from deportation to concentration camps. Despite the grave danger he faced, Wallenberg tirelessly worked to save as many lives as possible. He established safe houses, hospitals, and schools to provide refuge and protection for Jews facing Nazi persecution. Additionally, he employed ingenious tactics, such as employing counterfeit Swedish diplomatic license plates to rescue Jews from trains bound for concentration camps. The Wallenberg family's dedication to aiding Jews during the war went beyond Raoul's efforts in Budapest. Another family member, Marcus Wallenberg, played a role in the rescue operations. He used his position as the head of the Swedish Red Cross to provide assistance to refugees. Unfortunately, Raoul Wallenberg's heroic endeavors met a tragic end in January 1945, when he was arrested by the Soviet Union and subsequently disappeared, never to be seen again. Despite numerous attempts to ascertain his fate, it remains a mystery to this day. Following World War II, the Wallenbergs continued to diversify their business interests, investing in a wide array of industries ranging from automobiles to pharmaceuticals. However, their influence and power extended far beyond the realm of business. The family became deeply involved in politics, leveraging their wealth and influence to shape government policies in Sweden and beyond. Their immense wealth and power often remained cloaked in secrecy, leading to speculation about the true extent of their impact in Sweden. The Wallenbergs were often referred to as the royal family of business, as they controlled some of the largest corporations in the country and had close ties to the Swedish government. Additionally, they were actively engaged in philanthropy, generously donating substantial sums to various causes, including the arts and education. Yet, their sphere of influence wasn't limited to Sweden alone. The Wallenbergs' reach extended throughout Europe and beyond, with investments in companies across the continent. They were renowned for their adeptness in navigating intricate business transactions and their knack for identifying profitable opportunities. Despite their immense power, the Wallenbergs remained intensely private. They rarely granted interviews or allowed outsiders a glimpse into their world, fueling speculation about the true extent of their wealth and influence. Some even speculated that the family held control over all of Europe, a rumor that only added to their enigmatic aura. The Wallenbergs of today continue to wield as much power, influence, and wealth as they did some decades ago. They still hold sway over a vast array of companies, including some of Europe's largest corporations, even in new and innovative fields like artificial intelligence, or AI. Marcus Wallenberg, the billionaire inheritor of Sweden's leading industrial dynasty, first encountered artificial intelligence back in 1977 during his studies in Palo Alto. He recalled, "I was walking around the Stanford campus and I noticed a prominent sign that read, 'Sail,' S-A-I-L. Given my passion for sailing, I decided to take a closer look. Beneath the sign it read, 'Stanford Artificial Intelligence Laboratory.'" Today, Wallenberg stands as one of Europe's primary investors in artificial intelligence. They have committed approximately $300 million to their AI initiative known as WASP, W-A-S-P. This investment encompasses a blend of AI startups and a business transformation firm named Combient. Combient's mission is to unite Nordic companies in collaborative efforts to advance AI technology. While many family dynasties end up in internal conflicts or see their wealth divided amongst numerous descendants, the Wallenbergs have managed to avoid such issues. Their approach began in 1917 when they started channeling their wealth into non-profit foundations. These foundations now hold more than 50% of voting rights in Investor and various other assets within the family empire. Voting rights in Investor and various other assets within the family empire. Today, the Wallenberg Empire is predominantly overseen by Jacob and his cousin Marcus. According to Gunnar Wetterberg, the author of Wallenberg: A Family Empire, the Wallenbergs effectively separated their wealth from their influence, a strategy that has preserved family harmony. This unity among the cousins, however, is phenomenal, and it is notable given the history of family feuds among wealthy clans. Despite their substantial wealth, the Wallenbergs do not rank among the top 100 richest Swedes, as reported by Veckans Affärer magazine. For instance, Jacob Wallenberg earned around $320,000 last year from his role as chairman of Investor, as stated in the company's annual report. He emphasized that they are not personal owners of the family assets, and therefore cannot engage in disputes over them. Like everyone else, he has to work for a living. Jacob Wallenberg gradually assumed his role, succeeding his grandfather. Before taking on this responsibility, he worked at SEB and spent several years in the Navy, earning an MBA in the United States. The family's history has made them cautious about the pressures of their positions. Jacob's uncle, Mark Wallenberg, who was slated to lead the empire, tragically took his own life in 1971, shocking Sweden. In a move that made headlines, Mark's daughter, Caroline Anka-Krona, became the first female family member to sit on the board of the Nut and Alice Wallenberg Foundation. Jacob Wallenberg expressed his desire to see more women playing significant roles within the family's endeavors. When you look at just how much money they control in the market, the Wallenberg family's grip on Sweden's economy has weakened because they now face more competition from other wealthy families. However, the Wallenbergs are still seen as the most important family in Sweden. As they slowly pass on leadership to the sixth generation, their continued and significant impact in Sweden goes against the idea that long-standing family owners don't play a valuable role in modern society. Despite the idea that European social democracies, especially in Nordic countries, aim for equality, they have actually kept wealthy family owners in place more than the United States, which is more focused on free market capitalism. This situation has worked in favor of the Wallenberg family business empire. Do click on the next video on your screen to watch another astounding video like this one.